2006 to go to the University of Tulsa College of Law. We both graduated, movement started, and we're supporting the freedom of speech and talking out against the corporations, the corruption going on in the government right now. It's pretty much owned by the bankers. If you have enough money, then you can get anything passed you want. So we would like to get some of the money out of the politics, and that would just make us very happy. Freedom for everybody, not just a few.
And I'm sorry, I actually didn't get your name earlier recorded. What was it again?
John Sigmund.
John Sigmund, and you're?
Megan.
And it's Ren?
Ren.
Yep. Thank you guys very much again. Sort of leadership to it. You know, like all the previous types of protests, there's always been somebody or a group of 2 or 3 people that try and assert themselves. Yeah. Whereas this, I haven't seen anybody that's trying to put their foot down. The only person I've seen is some guy from Onion calling himself the Cookie Monster. You know what I mean? That's not the leader. You know what I mean? Like, so.
Well, I think a lot of people recognize that it's not something that one person can come up with a solution for. That it's going to take a lot of people to work out, because it is so screwed up, and it's going to take a lot of work to unscrew it up.
Yeah. Well, there's so many different parts of it that are screwed up. You need all those different skills.
Right,
know?
Exactly.
There's no one dude with all the skills you need.
Just so I have your names, Frank.
Yeah, Frank Grove.
And
John.
And dude, if you want your last name.
Harlan.
Keep these 3.
This probably will end up on the internet at some point.
I'm one of the first 10 that were arrested on.
Oh, really?
First, yeah.
Can you talk about that for me? Just tell me about the experience, your story of how you got arrested and where you were and what they did. And
while we were, I had come down. I'm in a medieval recreation group, and I had just come from one of our events, and I'm the guy in the green tunic. But I had, when I heard they had I had been kind of keeping up, and when I heard they had an occupation space, I came down to join in, and of course discuss ideas and this type of thing. And they talked about, or somebody mentioned about the civil disobedience, that the city wasn't going to allow us to stay in the park, etc. And so I, like I said, I had been talking about this stuff for years, and I figured if I didn't do something, that I'd be a big hypocrite.
This stuff go to your car?
I needed to do something, and so I joined in the civil disobedience, and we had, from what I understand, we had been talking with the liaisons and everything, and they had told us the way we were sitting and everything was how we were supposed to sit to avoid being pepper sprayed or anything. And so we did that, and then they came up, and we weren't being violent, we weren't resisting, and they made they made a half-assed attempt to try to pick me up. They lifted me up about 4 inches and then gave up, and then from close range sprayed me with the pepper spray. And I had John Van Zant was the first one that got pepper sprayed, and a little bit of it drifted over towards me, so I knew it was coming, and so I just closed my eyes and held my breath as long as I could, and then they pepper sprayed me. And then I originally was not going to, I was going to make them carry me, because they're the ones violating my constitutional rights. I certainly wasn't going to assist them. I wasn't going to resist, but I wasn't going to assist them. But
how did it make you feel to get pepper sprayed?
Well, it hurt, of course, but it felt really good that I was, one, I'm not just doing it for myself, I'm doing it for all those that aren't able to do it. And, it obviously made a point if that they felt so threatened that they had to pepper spray, passive individuals, people who weren't a threat to them, that obviously we were worrying somebody, we were hitting, striking a nerve. And so at the same time, it felt really good to do it. And I don't know what their thinking was, why they thought any other result would be with the pepper spraying other than just reinforcing what we were saying and giving more credence to our movement. I mean, I don't know why they thought that would just discourage us, because first thing is they'd already seen in other instances like New York, etc., that, you know, the excessive use of force, all it does is serve to reinforce us and brings more people out. Because even though a lot of people may not necessarily agree on some of the points with the Occupy movement, the right to free speech, First Amendment, is, you know, really ingrained into a lot of people, and that definitely got them behind it.
Who wants to?
Good.
I need a
And
guy
then-
to go with Peggy to
I feel like it was the way they handled it was handled really bad, because like they held me for 10 hours, and in that whole time I was giving nothing to alleviate the pepper spray. And it kind of ticked me off a little bit when the police chief made the statement the next day that the effects of pepper spray wear off after 30 minutes. When I was released 10 hours later, it was still burning. You know, it was at least an hour before we could even open our eyes.
To the camp? Hang on.
And I'm sure it does wear off after 30 minutes if you're doing something to immediately neutralize it, like milk or you know, milk and magnesia, something to neutralize it.
And so you were detained for 10 hours?
Yes.
And then were there any charges that were brought against you? Or?
Yeah. On that first one, it was resisting arrest and the curfew violation.
Curfew violation?
Yeah, which is a ticketable offense.
Okay. And
But we were arrested and pepper sprayed for it.
gotcha. That's, yeah. Thank you.